cardio session in for you guys, much later than normal, but I still need to get fasted cardio. I got my 50-pound weight vest on. It's pretty much noon already. I tried to get this going in Facebook first. I tried to do Facebook first, but it wouldn't let me start the stream. Maybe my connection wasn't strong enough. So we'll see, what happens in here. So hopefully we get some decent viewership, maybe because of the time of day. It might be a little different. But again, my schedule this week has been a little bit different. So, see how this goes. All right, so far, no one is in here. I hope I set this to public. All right, I hope I set it to public. Did we set it to public? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did not set it to public, and that's why nobody's in here yet. Let me see if there's a way to check that setting, guys. All right, what's going on here? Oh, no, we're good. There's some people. All right, so we're definitely public. I got worried that this was set to private because that's the default for some reason on these. All right, so getting our fasted cardio in. Again, just finished my deadlift session and posterior chain session, and thought I'd get this going. Just as good afternoon, Coach. Good afternoon. Well, it's not afternoon for another minute, right? It's 11:59 right now. I'm still fasted, but I also, my feed window got extended a little later because I went out to eat last night. So normally I do like a 18:6, but I ended up eating a meal at like 8:30 last night. So again, it affects my my fasting a little, but that's okay. As long as we get training and cardio in, doesn't matter because I'm just going to protein load like crazy. So even if I end up with a shorter window or it gets extended out, it all works out good. Yeah, the training went pretty good today. My posterior chain sessions aren't as long because I deadlift first, and so I'm not quite doing the same volume for some of the other muscle groups. Because honestly, things like my glutes and hamstrings are in a really good place. So I did like 10 work sets and then some abs, which is enough. All right, and most of that was reverse hypers. I did some good mornings though. I took the same top set and I did last week and added some reps. I'm just gonna build those up, right? I want to get my good mornings back to like 500 pounds. Even as I get leaner and work on arms and stuff more, I don't think it'll be a bad thing, right? Get that strength back up, get that elite level. Especially good to be thinking about that birthday is happening this weekend. So always trying to reach that next tier. We need to always be improving, always be moving forward, um, focusing on recomposition. How's the arm work going? Well, Kumar, it's going decent. I mean, you can see all the training, it all gets put up. Every single work set I do is on this channel. I put it on YouTube and Facebook both. I can blog all of it. I mean, again, it's going to be slow, but I feel like my arms have improved slowly but surely, right? Everything keeps improving. And that's what we should expect. We should be making just continual long-term process, right? We just always make long-term progress. 10 days out from my show, 6 foot, 265 shredded, depleted, diet strict, all season 3 or 5, can't wait. Man, pretty big dude, right? Even at 6 foot though, I mean, that's 265 shredded is ridiculous. I can see training, but I can't see arm measurements just from watching the vlogs. Well, why do arm measurements really matter? It really just depends on how you look. I mean, right? Jason, man, it's good you're still around. Fitness YouTube is absolute trash now. Is that bad? Also, here's how coach is looking today. All right, we're doing okay. So, not even hungry yet, ironically. But then again, I had a pretty filling dinner outside of my normal feed window last night. Had I had a steak, steamed broccoli, and a baked potato. Right? That's another thing too. People bring that up. They're like, "How can a person stay on their diet and go out and eat?" I'm like, "Don't eat junk. Like you can literally get a steak and vegetables pretty much anywhere. Is there a distance you set? Just I have to say this pretty much every single day. That's okay. I do not track distance nor steps. I only track time for my daily cardio. That's it. I make a note that obviously I wear a 50-pound vest, and we do that. For carb depletion days, is a small yogurt, chicken breast water. I don't know that glycogen depletion is truly a real thing from lifting, to be honest with you. I think it's been overhyped. It's mostly sodium you're losing when you cut carbs out. All right. Jason, you have a great channel and tons of knowledge when it comes to gaining strength and performance. I appreciate it, man. But back over to your thing, bro. With your thing with the carb depletion, I know guys believe in that, but the scientific evidence doesn't really support that you're going to drop 5 pounds of water from glycogen depletion. You're just not. So when you're trimming the carbs like that, what's really happening, and we know this when we look at the data on even keto adapted people who are even endurance athletes, they don't have lower muscle glycogen that much. What you are seeing is a shift in aldosterone from dropping your carbs out that makes you urinate out more sodium. Just an FYI. And I honestly think that really is what happened. It's happening even with the glycogen depletion. The carb depletion is not causing glycogen depletion. It really is a shift in electrolyte balance is what's occurring. When did the data shift so much on recomping and lean gains? It's been an accumulation of stuff, Kumar. I mean, we've always seen, let me be clear, the whole idea of the bulking thing has never really been scientific, by the way. That's always been anecdote. So for the data to shift, the data didn't shift, they just started studying it. Hopefully that explains it better, right? So the whole idea of the high calorie surpluses of bulking and all of that causing muscle growth has not ever been a scientific thing. So when we say the data shifted, you mean we started collecting it finally? You mean they started finally studying it? So what we are finding in the lab is that extremely small surpluses are more than enough to cause 100% of possible muscle growth. Like that's just what the evidence is showing when it's measured. Like literally like a 50-calorie surplus is enough to cause every single last drop of muscle growth your body can squeeze out. Anything beyond that is just fat. And then we do know that the extra strength gains from it are just due to leverages. They're not due to muscle growth. Is 120 grams of carbs considered low? I guess, I don't know, because there is no definition of any of that. I guess it's all relative to what you're eating. Katorma, why are we bringing that up all this time later when I addressed it the next day? I mean, why didn't you come look at my channel the day after he said it to see my response? I actually stepped up and I congratulated him on it. I didn't take offense to it. And I actually said the day after he did it, I made a live and I said, even though he and I, there was bad blood between us, that a man should give credit where credit is due. And I gave him a clap and I said, well done. Right? Did I or did I not do that? With no facetiousness, no maliciousness. I simply said, the man proved me wrong, and the only thing that I can do is say well done, because that's some epic shit. And that was my response. So so here's my question: why did you wait till now instead of going to look at my response at the time? You know, that speaks volumes about you as a person. All right. So even a small surplus can lead to significant muscle gains. Jimmy, I'm going to restate that again. A small surplus will produce 100% of all possible muscle gains. So, I mean, how do we define significant? So, if a person told you the most money you could make in a year at their company was $1 million, and you hit $1 million, would you consider it significant? You know, if it's the most absolute 100% possible, well, yeah, that's significant. So I'm going to say no, that's not significant. That would be called optimal. So I think that's a better way to word it. So if something can achieve 100% of the absolute possible maximum result, that's not called significant. It's called optimal. So yes, a 50-calorie surplus, according to all the data we have, is capable of causing optimal muscle growth, not significant. Significant would mean good, but not the absolute most extreme. So no, it wouldn't be significant. It would be the most that the human body is physically capable of doing. Now, you can see significant at maintenance. So that would be a better way. We have studies showing that in a small calorie deficit, if your training is dialed in and your protein is high, you can gain muscle. Even advanced lifters gain muscle in the lab if everything is dialed in perfect with a small calorie deficit while losing fat. So there would be a better question. Can you see significant muscle growth while cutting? And the answer to that would be yes, because it wouldn't be optimal. In fact, it would be fairly small, but it's significant, right? Small but significant. Um, hey, Jason, my professor agrees with you that we shouldn't be carnivores in nature. Well, yeah, I mean, common sense, biology, epidemiology, anthropology, um, all these things confirm that. Like no sane person thinks that anyone should be doing a carnivore diet. Like, um, if you take as much juice as you do, then you can. Um, no, Hanson, we're talking about natural people, actually. As much juice as I do, which you mean a very, 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 very small amount compared to the average user. I'm considered ultra conservative by most metrics. So, um, yeah. I mean, I know guys with 40, 50 pounds less muscle than me who use more gear than I do, by the way. Just an FYI. Like, I personally know people who use more gear than me who are 50 pounds lighter than me. Uh, Oh, you're so funny. Yeah, in today's world, dude, 500 pretty conservative. And who said I do that year round? Did I say that? Or did you say that? Okay, so you think if you're partaking in juice, you would still have similar recon? Me personally, it's not possible to be at my size without juice. So the answer is obviously no. I am pretty much exceeding the natural limit for my frame. So obviously, um, the answer to your question is no. Now, are you talking about scientific studies on naturals? Recomp is absolutely possible. It's been seen in the lab repeatedly, even in trained lifters with more than 5 years under the barbell. I mean, um, so the answer to that is provably yes. Like, if you say no, then you don't believe in science or research or any of those things. You're anti-science because it's been repeatedly demonstrated in the lab. Uh, yeah, you're correct. It's not possible. Sorry. Maybe a rare genetic anomaly, but that's not you. It's not 99% of the population, right? So yeah, you're correct. It's not gonna happen, dude. Um, is it possible for someone with extreme genetics who's been training for 15, 20 years? So, I mean, when you say possible, I mean, it's also like saying, is it possible for a person to have $1 billion? Yeah, I mean, there's a few people out there who have $1 billion. What are the odds that you're going to have $1 billion if you dedicate your whole life to it right now? What would you estimate as the odds? Um, yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it, Hanson. Is it possible? Yes. Is it statistically? It would be a statistical anomaly, then, right? So yes, it's definitely not reasonable. I mean, it's like hitting the lottery. I mean, that's like again. So that's a great, yeah, 1 in a million. It's like Arsenio pointed out. So that's the equivalent of saying, is it possible to win the lottery? Yes, someone does it every time. You know, million people play to win. Someone gets that big jackpot. So yeah, it's absolutely possible. Is it possible to become president of the United States? Yeah, someone does it every 4 years. One guy, or maybe a girl one day. So you people ask the wrong questions. Instead of is something possible, ask what's it likely. Is it possible to be struck by lightning? Yeah, it happens all the time. Because okay, Hanson, because TRT has nothing to do with being on gear. Okay, so conservative gear use means conservative gear use, not a replacement to your doctor. Like those are not. We shouldn't even be comparing those. They're not in the same category. Nobody goes and starts using gear to replace their normal amount. That's not why people go and use steroids outside of the care of a clinical setting, right? Kumar, yes, statistically, it is in that category. I mean, it's possible, but there's 23 people in this channel, and I guarantee you, not a single one of you. I would almost bet my life on it. A single one of you will not reach it. And that's a safe bet. I mean, what's the odds that I'm wrong? I'm more likely to be attacked by a rabid squirrel right now walking through here than for me to be wrong on that. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. A squirrel could jump out and bite me right now. I mean, I'm in the tree. It could happen to have rabies. All right. Hey, Johnny. Um, if you're concerned that you're not going to be able to avoid booze over the holidays if it's that big of an issue, maybe you should go to an AA meeting this week. Might be my advice. No, Hanson, I'm using the average gear user at your gym as the baseline. Okay, so let's start that over. Where's your baseline? The average gym rat in 2024. There's your baseline. The average guy who goes to your gym who is on a cycle right now, the gym you go to, I promise you, he is on more than 500 milligrams. I'm just telling you facts. So the average gear user at your gym who has 10 pounds less muscle than me is probably on more than 500 milligrams in my personal life experience, having been around this for decades. I don't know anybody at gyms only doing that. Man, I don't know what gym you going to then. Planet Fitness? I talked to plenty of gym rats using 750, 1,000, 1,500 all the time. All the time. No, that's not Mr. Hanson. I can't, dude. I can't. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. You know how many pro bodybuilders use 5,000 plus? You need to talk to more bodybuilders. You know how many YouTubers have admitted to 5,000 plus? Wow. Okay. So basically, you have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, that's cool. Just man, next time Hanson, just say that. Just say that next time you come in. Like it will save a lot of problems for everybody. Okay, just come in and say you don't know anything. It makes it easier. You don't talk to any bodybuilders or lifters, and yeah, that's not. It's just not these days. Marcinio says Hanson's a good example of Dunning Kruger effect. Exactly. Like he's talking about guys at the Olympia lineup using less than 5 grams. There ain't going to be many, only the rarest ones. Remember when Koneski admitted to 7 grams a week for his bodybuilding show? 7 grams. Jerry Ward personally admitted to routinely running 2,000 plus HGH all the time. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, what was his name? That one Brandon kid, when he got up and admitted his stack on YouTube about 8 years ago, and he had that mental breakdown getting ready for a show, he was under 200 pounds. He was running 2.5 grams. Like right here on YouTube. I mean, he looked good, but, you know, like, yeah, you clearly are outside the loop. So, and that's okay. That's cool, man. But yeah, just admit you don't know much about it. And that's okay. Move on. All right. So, I'm gonna try to be nice though. I'm being polite about this. I'm having a good day. I've actually had a really good last day or so. Um, so Ronnie Coleman said he's on. Will I get loose skin from cutting from 220? I have no idea, Johnny. That's not that much, dude. I lost like 150 pounds. For one reason, I still have some loose skin I'm tightening up. You're talking about 40 pounds, dude. Come on. You've never been over 300? I wouldn't worry about it that much, dude. Yeah. I wouldn't worry about the loose skin a lot if you've not been up close to 300, and it's probably not going to be that much. Just get lean, little tighten up. Um, so those guys didn't really have great genetics to begin with. You say, yeah. I mean, the guys. There's probably a few guys. Ronnie Coleman. Though you can't ever use Ronnie Coleman as an example. The guy was such a ridiculous freak of nature. So of course, obviously, Ronnie Coleman is believable. But I mean, keep in mind, Ronnie Coleman, just like said in an interview, admitted he used plenty of gear. Was like, I don't know, it just brought out more what was already there. He's like, I already squatted and deadlifted 750 before I did my first cycle. It's the reason no one could beat him. The guy was just a complete genetic freak, right? That's why he's the GOAT. Like, Ronnie Coleman was a freak among freaks genetically. Okay. That's why you're not seeing other guys. So look at all these current guys in the Mr. Olympia lineup this last 5 years. Did any of them really compete with Ronnie Coleman? Come on. So, again, a bit of sense, people. A little bit of sense. That's okay. Common sense isn't always so common. It doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. So, oh man, where are we at? Man, it's 12:25. We're still doing the cardio. Well, talking about the other stuff. Yeah, but I'm not running a bunch of trend and other stuff. So keep in mind, my whole setup is really mild. Um, and honestly, for me, a normal most of the year is honestly like 200 tests, 200 primo, and that's it. That's generally what I'm on most of the time. Um, and if we're going to talk about other stuff, primo is about as mild as it comes. All right. Okay. We can just do that. Coach, can you do some hit? No, I'm not going to do hit cardio at all. And no, I'm not going to run or do anything in my vest like that. I don't want to destroy my knees, guys. I'm trying to do this for life. Okay. So, all right, guys. I'm going to hop off here. This one's run long enough. I may hop over into Facebook in a minute. I'm going to need a breather here for a second. So let me wind this down, and I will talk to you guys next time.